Welcome! So, today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to learn a few phrases for a trip to Finland. Nope, we're going to dive into the unique and honestly fascinating logic that's built right into the Finnish language. Let's find out how changing your grammar can actually change how you see the world. So the real question here is, are you ready to kind of shift your whole perspective? Because that's what learning Finnish is all about. It's not about finding a one-to-one translation, it's about looking at the world through a completely new grammatical lens.
All right, first things first, let's see if we're all prepared for this little journey. Our very first phrase is going to introduce us to a simple but very Finnish piece of how conversations flow. Okay, let's break this one down. Mielemme, that just means we are. Valmiita means ready. And that last little bit, eikö niin, that's a fantastic little tag. It's like saying right or isn't that so? So altogether, mielemme valmiita eikö niin. It's just a really natural way to connect with someone and make sure you're both on the same page.
Okay, great, so we're ready. But just imagine, your travel plans hit a snag. All of a sudden, you're out of time. So how does Finnish deal with the idea of not having something, or maybe only having some of it? This question brings us to a really core concept.
And that concept is called the partitive case. Just think of it as the grammar of someness. So the word for time, aika, gets a little ending and becomes aikaa, which basically means some time. Now this is used for indefinite amounts, but here's the really cool part. You also use it in negative sentences. So ei ole aikaa syödä literally means there is not any time to eat. The logic of not a whole thing is built right into the word itself.
All right, you've managed your time crunch. Now you're in a social setting. You want to be friendly, maybe offer someone a drink. Well, that same logic we just learned is about to pop up again.
Think about it. You're not offering the entire bottle, are you? You're just offering part of it, a single glass. So can you guess which grammatical case is going to make an appearance here?
You got it. The partitive case is back. And this just illustrates its logic so perfectly. It doesn't matter if you're talking about something abstract like time or a physical object like wine. If it's an undefined part of a whole, you use the partitive. It's a really beautiful and consistent system.
So let's look at the full phrase. Haluatteko is the formal way to say do you want. Lasin is a glass, and there it is. Valkoviini, white wine, becomes valkoviinia. You're offering some white wine. Go ahead and try saying it. Haluatteko lasin valkoviinia? Okay, next up, we are tackling what might be the biggest mental shift of them all in Finnish. It forces us to completely rethink a concept we just take for granted, the whole idea of having something.
You know, in English, this is so simple. Who has? That verb to have is central to how we talk. But what if a language didn't really have a main verb for possession? What would it do instead?
And here's the mind-blowing difference. In Finnish, you don't really have things. Instead, things are located at you or on you. So to ask who has money, you are literally asking at whom is money. Let's look at how that actually works. Kuka means who, but kenellä means ahu. On is our familiar is, and raha, money, becomes raha. Hey, that's our old friend the partitive case again, because we're talking about some money, an indefinite amount. So you see, ahu is some money. The logic is crystal clear when you lay it out like this.
And there you have it, the final elegant result. Kenellä on rahua. It is a really profound shift in perspective if you think about it. Things aren't possessions you own. They're just resources that happen to be with you or at you for a while.
Okay, so since Finnish is so focused on where things are, let's use that logic to find our way around a city. We'll look at a few really practical phrases for getting from point A to point B.
So here are a few key phrases. Voitteko auttaa minua is a nice, polite way to ask for help. If you're pointing something out, you might say, hotelli on vasemmalla, which is the hotel is on the left. Or you could give a simple direction like menkää suoraan, for go straight. Oh, and check this out. In musiikki on Malagasta, the music is from Malaga, that gasta ending is a super common way to show where something is from. That's a really useful pattern to keep an eye out for.
Now, what if you need someone to speak a bit more slowly? Well, in Finnish, turning an adjective into an adverb is incredibly consistent.
You just take the adjective, like hidas for slow or nopeah for fast, and you just add sti to the end. So you get hitasti for slowly and nopeasti for rapidly. It's that simple and logical.
And here it is in a sentence. Tamahenkilo, this person, puhu, speaks, hyvin, very, nopeasti, fast. See? Now you can describe how anything is being done.
All right, for our last section, let's look at a few phrases that add a little more nuance and finesse to your conversations. Everything from remembering things to saying you're sorry.
Now, this slide just shows a simple little exchange. But what I really want to focus on is the apology, olen baholaini. The literal translation is, I am with bad feelings. Isn't that just a wonderfully descriptive and honest way to say you're sorry? It's not just a throwaway word, it's a genuine statement about your internal state.
And here's one last little gem of Finnish logic for you. When you're describing distance, you wouldn't just say something is 5 blocks away. The structure is more like it's at 5 blocks head, or viden korttelin päässä. It's just another one of those small but amazing glimpses into a different way of framing the world.
So we'll end on this thought. We've seen that in Finnish, you don't have things, they are at you. You have not any time instead of no time, and apologizing means you are with bad feelings. It really makes you wonder, what other parts of reality does the Finnish language see in its own completely unique and logical way?